Sunnah, protectors of the Sunnah. In alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulallah. Welcome to the second day of Ramadan. This is the second day of the holy month of Ramadan. So this should be the second day of your fast. Okay, alhamdulillah, being that this is the second day, your body should be adjusting to the fast in and of itself. Hopefully everyone got up today and ate sahur, and that inshallah, that sahur has given you that kick that you need to make it through the day. And now that it's starting to get a little tiring, again, I want you to remember, whenever you start getting this feeling that, oh, I can't do this, understand that feeling is from your personal jinn. And yes, you can do it. Believe you me, it's going to get easier. By the second week, inshallah, your body will be used to having changed its schedule. Your body should be used to going without food and drink. Your body should have adjusted. For those of you on medication, your body should have adjusted by the second week of fasting to the change in how you're taking your meds. But I want to remind those of you out there who do suffer from chronic illness. If you have a chronic illness and you are attempting to fast, a chronic illness such as diabetes or lupus or GERD or something like that, you still fast. But if you feel that your illness is acting up, if it's becoming aggravated, go ahead. Do not hesitate to break the fast. I repeat, do not hesitate to break your fast. I repeat, do not hesitate to break your fast, because Allah does not want you to undergo unneeded hardship. So for those of you suffering with the chronic illness, such as lupus, diabetes, GERD, or whatnot, break the fast and pay the ransom for this day. Remember that ransom is paid, at the end of Ramadan, or you have until the beginning of the next Ramadan to pay it, and it goes to your mosque. You cannot take that money and go out and give it to somebody, because it has to be food stuff. Okay. And for those of you who don't have a chronic illness, let's say, for example, you're fasting and all of a sudden you feel a migraine headache coming on. A migraine headache is not like a regular headache. If you feel a migraine headache coming on, and you know that if you do not take your medication now, that headache will only aggravate and get worse, go ahead and break your fast and just write it down as a day that has to be made up. And you have, again, till after Ramadan ends, until the beginning of the next Ramadan, to make up any days you had to miss due to having to break the fast due to an illness. Say, for example, you have the flu. You having those chills and those shakes, you need that Tylenol. Or you had the COVID shot. There's the vaccine out now that other people are taking, which I encourage everyone to take. The vaccine shot, the second dosage usually gives people some type of minor side effects. If you had the COVID shot and you feel that headache coming on, break your fast. Take the Tylenol to break that fast. If you had the COVID shot and you're experiencing shakes and chills like the flu, break your fast and just make these days up, the days that you have to go unfasting up. Again, the key is for everyone to understand that Allah does not impose conditions upon us to be mean or cruel, and Allah does not want to subject us through an unnecessary hardship. Women who are on their menses, you remember, you cannot fast. You make these days up. Women who are pregnant, you do fast. I repeat. Women who are pregnant, you do fast. I repeat. Women who are pregnant, you do fast, unless your Muslim doctor has diagnosed you as a high-risk pregnancy. If you have been diagnosed as a high-risk pregnancy, you will be confined to the bed unable to do anything. In that case, you don't fast, but you must pay the ransom, which is the money for each day that you are unable to fast. For women who are breastfeeding, I know there's a lot of crazy videos going around the internet. There's a bunch of idiots going around speaking about Islam, making videos about Ramadan and posting them up, and people are sharing them. And I tell you guys, be careful what you post on your Facebook page or your Instagram, because you're held accountable for that nonsense. You know, there's a lot of videos made by people who call themselves scholars, you know, scholars for dollars. And they're posting up videos saying that women who are breastfeeding do not have to fast. This is a lie. Where is their dalil? Bring the evidence where Allah or the prophet says that just because a woman is breastfeeding, she's exempt from fasting. Breastfeeding women have to fast too. However, in the event that you are breastfeeding, if the fast, because there are some rare cases in which fasting will dry up the woman's milk, if you are fasting and your milk dries up as a result, then you can resume breastfeeding, you know, and stop fasting, but you pay the ransom for those days. But there's only a few women who have that problem. A lot of women, you know, breastfeed and fast, and it's no problem for them at all. So these videos that are circulating around the internet and social media are made by men who call themselves scholars of Islam, telling you that a pregnant woman doesn't fast and a nursing woman doesn't fast. These men need to fear Allah and sit down, stop trying to pretend to be something that they're not. Instead, go home and take care of their wives and their children, get a job, punch a time clock, and support their families, and leave the true dawah to the people of knowledge. And for you sisters out there, remember, you can find a fatwa for anything you want. If you are weak in your faith and don't want to fast, you will find a fool out there who will give you a fatwa telling you that you can stand on your head and that exempts you from fasting. So all I can tell you sisters is you better fear Allah, because when those children grow up and have problems, or those children grow up and be a test for you, think about how maybe that's Allah's way of paying you back because you refuse to fast for his sake. So maybe he's taken those children that you love so much and made them to become a test for you. And they will become a test for you when they reach the age of puberty, believe you me. Children are only fun when they're little. When they grow up, they become a whole different ball game. So when your children grow up and start disrespecting you or whatnot, think about how you disrespected Allah and refused to fast during the month of Ramadan. That's food for thought. See if those idiots on the internet who call themselves scholars for dollars, see if they'll tell you that, you know. So again, be careful. You will find a fool out there to give you a fatwa telling you anything that you want, even that you can, that marijuana is legal, even that drinking alcohol is legal, even that fornication is allowed. And they'll even tell you that it's okay to be gay. Pay them the money and they'll tell you whatever you want. We're living in the days in which Islam is sold for a miserable price. That's the hadith we talked about today in the signs of the last hour, the signs when Islam is sold for a miserable price. And the price that these men are getting is followers, their numbers, their hit YouTube numbers. So they make those videos, and those YouTube number hits y'all give them is the money that sustains them. So they're selling Islam for a miserable price. So go on and keep paying your money to them. Okay, so with that said, you know, everyone should be fasting. For those of you who are justified in not fasting, again, don't allow your personal jinn to take you to that dark place. You're still getting the reward. And remember that ransom is your fast. Okay, and yesterday we spoke about how to make the most of Ramadan. You know, how to get the most out of Ramadan by understanding why indeed we do fast. So let me put the quiz up on the screen from yesterday, just to see how well everyone understood the information. Okay, inshallah, everyone should be able to see my screen. We spoke yesterday as to how Ramadan is the month of renewing your commitment with Allah. What are things that we can do to help to renew our commitment with Allah during this month? We talked about this yesterday. What are some things that we can do as Muslims to renew our commitment with Allah for this month? Who can answer that question?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sister Ifti.
The number one thing that we could do to renew our commitment with Allah is learn our religion, number one. And we do that by listening. And I mean, there's pointless to keep reading Quran. You don't understand what you're reading. So, you know, learn the Quran from someone who is going to teach it to you the correct way. Learning hadith, doing, you know, doing your obligation prayers and doing your extra prayers, remembering Allah with tasbih, like glorifying Allah, like subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, feeding people. That's more rewards. But yeah, those are some things you can do.
MashaAllah, she gave many good answers as to what we can do to renew our commitment with Allah. Learn the religion correctly. That's very important. And ponder the meaning of the Quran when you read it. There's a lot of Muslims out there right now reading the Quran, reading a juz a day, but how many of them are really pondering the meaning of it? Also, understand the importance of learning from qualified teachers. And we can also renew our commitment with Allah by doing voluntary prayers and words of remembrance and feeding and helping others. Anyone else? Anyone else with an answer as to some things that we can do during this month to renew our commitment with Allah? Anyone else?
I was going to say do a lot of self-evaluation, make a list of your strengths and weaknesses and get rid of any bad habits that you have and work on improving on your strength. And also make it a habit to like consistently, like, you know, seek forgiveness with Allah as much as possible.
MashaAllah, lots of self-evaluation. How can you better your relationship with Allah if you don't even understand what's going on with yourself? Very good answer. This is important. Ramadan is the month of not only renewing your commitment to Allah, but to yourself. Most Muslims don't understand why we are here. You were created to worship Allah. You were put here on this earth to be tested in your faith. There's a lot of women right now failing their test because they don't want to fast. They're looking for excuses to get out of fasting, like breastfeeding. That ain't no excuse. It's time to renew your commitment with Allah and understand that you were created to worship Him. And He said He's going to test you with the things you love the most, including your children. Do you want your children to become a trial for you? You better get it together and fulfill your obligation to Allah. And also, like she said, learning your strengths and your weaknesses. How can a person change the condition of himself if he or she is not even aware of what their weaknesses are? Every one of us should be aware of our strengths and weaknesses and do a lot of self-evaluation and try to make that change. Change that man in the mirror. Remember the gay blade that sang that song? It's all about making that change. Changing the man in the mirror. That's what it's about during this month of Ramadan. Okay. Also, what else? Anyone else? Sister Amina said, making lots of supplications.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
It's charity.
MashaAllah, exactly. Giving and charity, helping others. Okay, MashaAllah. By helping others and giving and charity, this helps to make you more humble. Too many of us suffer with arrogance. Some people are too arrogant to accept the truth, too arrogant to obey Allah. Well, why don't you start giving in charity? That'll humble you down some to where you can realize that Allah speaks the truth. Okay. So this is the month of change. And one of the best ways to change yourself is to give in charity, to help others. Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Good job, Sister Mayleon and everyone else. Very good job. Okay, let's look at the next question. We also spoke about how this month of Ramadan is the best month of the year for seeking forgiveness of your sins. Why is this so? Why is Ramadan the best time to seek forgiveness of your sins? Anyone? Easy question. Anyone? Why is Ramadan the best time to seek forgiveness?
Because Allah is extra forgiving.
Good job. Allah is extra forgiving during this month. Any other reasons why?
Because the gates of hell is closed and paradise is open. So whatever you ask of Allah, He will give it to you without the interference of shaitan. But you still have your personal jinn that you have to deal with.
Okay, the gates of paradise are open and the gates of hell are closed. That doesn't mean that Allah is more forgiving. What that means, well, the gates of paradise being open means Allah is more forgiving. But the gates of hell, that just means that shaitan and the most dangerous jinn are locked up. But that doesn't mean that there's other jinn out there or who can stand in your way and besides your personal jinn. But the month of the gates of paradise being open means that Allah is more forgiving. But why does He open the gates up? Why is Allah more forgiving during this month? That's the question. The question is, why is Allah more forgiving during this month? Why does He open those gates up this month? Anyone?
To make it more
Assalamu
easy.
alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Go ahead.
Sorry, whoever went before me, go ahead.
Who is that? Norto? Okay, go ahead. Brother Muhammad Abdullah said, also, why is this month the best month for seeking forgiveness? Brother Muhammad said, because of the night of El Qadr. Okay, that's a good answer. Because another reason why is because this month holds one of the most sacred nights of the year, which is the night of decree. This is the night in which Allah shares His knowledge of what's going to happen the upcoming year with the angels. That's why I tell you guys, there is no Islamic New Year. There is no Islamic New Year. But if there were an Islamic New Year for us Muslims, our New Year would begin Ramadan, because this is the month in which Allah shares His knowledge of everything that is going to happen for the next year with the angels. Okay? And that's another reason why this month is so sacred and Allah is so more forgiving. Any other answers as to why Allah is more forgiving this month rather than any other month of the year? Any other answers?
Yes, the major angels also walk the earth looking for believers who are worshiping and seeking forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are gathered together. They are taking duas back to Allah, flapping their wings.
But is that why Allah is forgiving? This is about not about what happens. The question
okay.
is, why is this month the best month of the year to ask Allah to forgive you of your sins?
Because
I can
Allah makes
answer.
it the
Go
most
ahead.
easiest time of the year. Sorry.
Say what?
Because Allah made this month the most easiest time of the year for us. I probably lost my thought. He made it easier. He makes it easier for us to, it's more of a blessed month because due to him multiplying everything we do this month.
Okay, that's a good reason. Another reason why this is the best month to seek forgiveness for your sins is because all your good deeds,
yes,
are multiplied more this month than any other month of the year. So, for example, if I gave in charity during the month of Shaban, Allah may reward me 10 times or 20 times. But if I give that same charity in the month of Ramadan, Allah may multiply it up to 700 times. So that's why this is the best month to seek forgiveness, because your good deeds are multiplied. Okay? Please, guys, control your children with the screen. Take that off the screen. Okay. Any other reasons?
Okay, I'll try this time.
Okay. And somebody get that crap off the screen. And please watch y'all's kids during class. Whoever wrote that on the whiteboard, get that crap off. Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Israel.
I would say fasting is, for Allah and Allah alone. Any other deeds is for us and it benefits us. And fasting is rewarded by Allah because we're sacrificing and giving up our food and drink, which is halal for us otherwise. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the fasting person's dua is accepted by Allah. That's why he's more forgiving this month.
Exactly. Good point. Because fasting is the more beloved to Allah than any other act of worship, because it entails sacrifice. And because of the fact that we are sacrificing for him, this in turn makes him more forgiving. You guys see how to answer? Answer about forgiveness. I don't want to hear about the angels walking the earth. I don't want to hear about the gates of paradise. I want to know, why is Allah more forgiving this month? He's more forgiving this month because, number one, this month holds one of the most sacred nights of the year, which is the night of decree, which is the night that he shares all his knowledge of what's going to happen with the angels. Also, he's more forgiving because your good deeds are multiplied more. Also, because the simple fact that we are fasting, this is more beloved to him than any other act of worship, because it entails sacrifice. And we're sacrificing. We're giving up our food, our drink, our emotions for him. And because of that, he becomes more forgiving. You take 2 steps towards Allah, he'll take 10 towards you. Good job. Okay, let's look at the next question. Number 3, what is a good thing to do? We talked about how there are some people out there who just cannot fast this month due to an illness, or due to a sickness, or due to the fact that they're too old and feeble. What's a good thing you can do if you are unable to fast? We talked about many good things we can do. What is a good thing you can do this month if you are unable to fast? First of all, understand you will still get the reward. Even if you are unable to fast, as long as you spend the time remembering Allah and doing good deeds, you're still getting the reward of a fasting person. That's number 1. And number 2, what are some other things we can do if we're unable to fast? Anyone?
Charity.
Walaikum salam.
I was going to say that one good thing that you can do is to feed some of the Muslims in the masjid, like the brothers who don't have wives, or feed feed families with women who don't have husbands at home, giving that kind of charity, making food for the fasting people.
Exactly. Feed the men in the masjid and women who have no families or no husbands. Okay, because when you feed a person that fasted, you get the reward of their fast as well as blessings for doing so. What else can you do? What else can a person that cannot fast do?
Assalamu alaikum. You can also give ransom.
Oh yeah, but that's part of the but what can you do? The ransom is your fast. What else can a person do who is unable to fast?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
You can give charity to this class.
Or donations. Exactly. Give charity or donations to Islamic organizations and schools and masjids. Because again, this is the best time to make donations. And by the way, guys, our website is in great need of donations. We are a nonprofit organization. Any donations you make will go to pay for what we're running here. We have the Zoom room, and I'm getting ready to add on another user, and that's going to make it higher. I'm going to add Amina Fresno as another owner of the Zoom room. So that means I'm going to have to pay $40 a month more, because Zoom charges $49, I think it is, dollars more a month to get a license for a licensed user. Zoom is not free. I don't use a free Zoom program. I use the paid program that costs $300 something a year, which is cheap compared to what my other webinar costs, which is $300 a month. You know, but also to add on people who can control the settings. They have to be licensed users, and that's $49.95 a month. So we are in desperate need of donations to cover our website expenses, guys, because I'm going to add Amina Fresno because she's here more than anybody else. Besides me, she's always here. Me, her, and Anissa, and the other sisters, Sabrine and Antar and them. So I'm definitely gonna, Amina keeps even her son's cell phone logged in here. Even her post son complains about how he can't even use his cell phone because she got it logged in as soon as possible so she can keep an eye on it while she's cooking, going to the bank, traveling. So I'd have to make Amina another licensed user. So please, guys, one of the best things you can do during the month of Ramadan is to give charity to bona fide Islamic organizations like Sunnah followers. We are a nonprofit organization. That means your money don't go in my pocket or nobody else's. It goes into this website and is monitored by the IRS. Hello. So ain't nobody taking nothing here. Okay. So please, guys, donate to keep our website going so I can add Amina. In fact, I meant to add her the other day. Amina, remind me to add you as a licenser. So that way I don't have to be worried. It'll take stress off of me having to be here 24/7 to make sure the Zoom is open. You know, I'm sick. I'm very sick, guys, and I have to have another surgery done and I have to move. I got to have somebody else that can run it if I'm not here, and that's going to be Fresno. Okay. So a good job. Another thing you can do if you're unable to fast is give in charity, make donations to Islamic organizations and schools and masjids. I tell you guys all the time, the best donation is if you have any money left over after your living expenses, split it in half. Give half of it to your local masjid. That way you are helping the Muslims in your community, and then give the other half to this website. That way you are helping the Muslims around the world. Okay, good job. Any other answers? What else? Can anybody think of anything else that's good to do if you're unable to fast?
Learning your religion. Just learning your religion, like coming to this classroom. I know we mentioned some things in the first answer, but remembering and learning your religion.
Yeah, remembering Allah and learning the religion. That way you don't feel left out. That's one thing about our Zoom room. It's open 24 hours. You don't, if you are unable to, I got some sisters in here who can't fast. Like Sister Amina Antar. She's still in the hospital, guys, fighting her diabetes and trying to get those blood clots under control. But so even though Amina Antar is unable to fast, she stays logged into the Zoom room and she participates in the classes, so that way she's still getting the reward of fasting. Okay? And that's something that you guys can do. Don't let your personal jinn make you think that you're doing nothing, because you're not doing nothing. You still get the rewards of fasting by remembering Allah. And learning your routine is remembering Allah. Okay? So mashallah, these are great answers. Things you can do for those who are unable to fast due to health reasons. Again, feed the poor or needy.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum salam.
For kids who aren't fasting, you can help your parents out to make it easier for them.
Mashallah, even exactly. What's a good thing you can do if you are a kid? Whose kid was that? Who gave that answer?
This is Kaleem.
Oh, this is Precious kid. Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Like Kaleem said, even if you are unable to fast, because as a kid, what can you do? Help your parents. Help your parents out. If you are a child unable to fast for some reason, be it a sickness or whatever, you can still help out around the house. Say my granddaughter is unable to fast. She can help me out by helping me clean, helping me cook, helping me do the laundry, keeping the cat box clean, or just watching the other children, watching the cats in my case, turning on, making me a frappuccino or whatever. Kids can, for those children who can't fast due to a sickness, maybe you fell and broke your arm or something and got to take pain medication or whatever, you have to make this day up. You can still help your parents out and your siblings out. Okay? Does everyone understand? Good answers. Mashallah. Okay, let's look at question number 4. This is the last question for today. It's very important that those of us who are unable to fast not feel bad about it. Why? Why is it so important that for those of us who are unable to fast, that we not allow our personal jinn to make us feel bad? Why? Umi Barrow?
Because we need to accept the decree of Allah. If you have chronic illness, then it was meant for you to not fast. Allah knows best. So if Allah decreed that you don't fast because of your chronic illness, then you need to accept that and engage in remembrance of Allah instead of wailing over the fact that you can't fast.
Exactly. Remember, the prophet said every nation of people has their fire worshipers or their pagans. The pagans of our nation are those people who fail to accept the decree of Allah. A person like Sister Amina Antar, she could say, oh, well, astaghfirullah, my diabetes is acting up. I can't fast. Woe is me. Woe is me. If only I hadn't of this. If only I hadn't of that. That's associating partners with Allah. We have to learn that there's good in everything, that Allah works in mysterious ways. It's a wake-up call to us. Just like I told you guys yesterday when I had my GERD attack right during class. I had to break my fast. My personal jinn wanted to take me to that dark place, but I didn't give him that power over me. And it was a wake-up call. I look at it like for what it was. It was Allah's way of telling me to make sure I get me some sleep and to make sure that I take my medicine. That I do not ever need to try to fast without taking my medicine before Fajr and drinking lots of water before Fajr, because it can cause me to have a heart attack. I could end up in a hospital with some serious problems. So there's good in everything. There's signs. Allah says, recognize his signs. Like Amina Antar, she told us yesterday, this was a wake-up call for me. She said, I never took my diabetes serious before. I didn't even take my medicines for it before. If I suffered with diabetes and never cared, she said, but now I will take my medicines every day. And now I do see how serious it is. Now I understand that your body has rights over you. She said, I didn't know this before. So now that I know this, it was a wake-up call. Allah put me in this hospital and got me sick to wake me up. So again, there's good in everything. So don't allow your personal jinn to take you to that dark place and make you feel that bad because you can't fast. Learn to accept the decree of Allah. Does everybody understand that? Learn to accept the decree of Allah. If you have a chronic illness, your life is of the greatest importance. And again, you're still getting the blessings. That's the sad part. You're getting two rewards. Not only are you getting a reward for breaking your fast, you're getting the reward for having had the intention to carry it out. So look at it like that. And that's what I told my personal jinn yesterday. When my personal jinn tried to take me to that dark place, I said, oh no, I just got 1,400 rewards because I obeyed Allah in 2 instances. Not only did I start my day off positive and fasting for his sake, but I also broke my fast for his sake because I understand that the body is a trust that Allah has given you, and your body will testify either for you or against you when you in that grave. So Allah has rewarded me for taking care of my body and doing what my body needed, which was to break that fast and give it the medicine that I'm supposed to take. So look at it like that. You're getting 1,400 times the reward. You're getting a reward based on your intentions that Allah knows you would have fasted, were you able to, and he's also rewarding you for obeying him and not putting your body through that hardship. Everybody understand that? MashaAllah, good answers. Are there any questions about any of these answers? You guys did good on this quiz. Any questions about any of these answers? Okay, with no questions, and let's start today's discussion, being the second day of this most sacred, wonderful month. And I'm sure, that all of you, I'm sure that each and every one of you can feel the sanctity of this month. It's just a happy time. You go outside and you just find yourself overwhelmed with the happiness, a glow. And everyone should be feeling that glow, unless you are a person that doesn't believe in Allah and you just showing off or whatever. If you're a person that's fasting truly for the sake of Allah, knowing that Ramadan has begun, you should feel a little bit of ease or happiness in your heart. I know I do. Even though I had to break my fast yesterday, I still felt it. And I'm fasting today, and I'm keeping myself positive that inshallah, I did what Allah wanted me to do. I took my water. I stayed up all night. That's why I'm sleepy all night, just to make sure I didn't forget my pills. And I did get 6 hours of sleep. So I'm very hopeful, very, very hopeful that I'll be able to make it through this day. I only have an hour to go. Inshallah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to make it. And that's how, inshallah, everyone should be feeling. We should all be feeling a little warmth, a little glow within ourselves, well, glow within your soul, because this month is sacred. And you know that the gates of paradise are open. You know that the angels of mercy are walking the earth as we speak. If your house is clean, there's no dogs in your house, no pictures on display, the angels of mercy are gathered around each and every one of us as we're on this computer learning about Allah. They're beating their wings right now, making dua for you, asking Allah to forgive you of your sins. They're laughing because they know that Layla's talking about them, and they're smiling and saying, listen, that silly Layla today. You know, everyone should feel happy right now. So today, what I'm going to speak about is how to make the most out of this sacred month, how to get the most out of these days. Because again, this is just the second day, but believe you me, it's going to go by fast. But what I want to talk about today are things that we can do to make our fast the best fast ever. I'm going to give you tips today on things we can do to make the most of our fasting time. And first of all, again, I want to strongly remind everyone, be moderate. When it's time to break your fast, don't sit there and eat like a pig. Don't sit there and indulge yourself in too much drink or in too much food. Because when you do that, it's going to make you lazy. You're going to get tired. It's going to make you sleepy. You're not going to want to do anything but go to sleep, pass gas, roll over, and go to sleep. You don't want to do that. Let's try to stick to the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his sunnah. The Prophet taught us that when we eat, you don't want to overindulge. He said, fill 1/3 of your stomach up with food. Fill another 1/3 of your stomach up with water, and the last 1/3, leave it open and free for breathing. So that way you don't become lazy and sleepy and any of that. So again, that's one thing I want to remind everyone, you know, when you're fasting, when it's time to break iftar, if you're going to the mosque to do that, or even at home, don't sit there and overindulge in a lot of food. Just eat enough and then get up. You can always go back and eat more during the rest of the night. But don't sit there and eat it all at one time, because what it's going to do is make you lazy. Also, another thing that I strongly encourage all Muslims to do, and hold on for a second. I did this yesterday with my PowerPoint. I have to learn how to work the PowerPoint on this Zoom instead of on my my other webinar program. I did this same thing yesterday. Hold on, guys. My computer is going crazy, and I can't stop it. Okay. Okay, hold on, let me just erase it. Okay. Why is it I can't work PowerPoint? Give me a second, guys. Gotta go through the whole PowerPoint just to get it off the screen. Okay, now let me remember to open my screen share. Now open my PowerPoint so it doesn't do that. And click on this. Click on slideshow. Now go. Okay, also guys, a great suggestion that I always make every year to the students here. Every home should have a charity box. That's something that I strongly encourage you to keep in your home all year round. Take a box. It can be a shoe box, or it can be a glass like you see here, and make it the Ramadan box. You're going to have 2 boxes in your house. You're going to have a charity box, and you're going to have a Ramadan box. The Ramadan box, you want to encourage your children and yourselves to put $1 in it each day. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so generous during the month of Ramadan. We want to try to be like him. So, teach your children any money that they get, put it in the Ramadan box so that at the end of Ramadan, you can give it to the imam of the mosque so he can take that money and buy food for the needy Muslims in your community. So this is the Ramadan box. Put it, everyone should have it. Just take a shoe box, right on the front of it, Ramadan box. And whatever spare change, say you go to the grocery store, whatever spare change, instead of just throwing it in your purse or the car, throw it in the little glass. Or say you're at the bank and they give you some change, throw it in the glass, the box. So at the end of the month, we can turn it into the masjid. And also, again, a charity box too. You want to keep another box that's just for charity, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the Ramadan box, make sure everyone has that. Put it on display so the children can see it, and your husband can see it. Your wives can see it. Any money left over when you go grocery shopping or whatever, the change, throw it in that box so that way you can turn it in to cash and give it to the imam of the local masjid at the end of Ramadan. Also, another good thing we can do. This is something that my brother Isa spoke about yesterday. Remember, I told you guys, fasting is not contingent on reading the Quran. In other words, you don't have to read the Quran in order to be rewarded for your Ramadan fast. But this is something good to do. So maybe you want to set a goal for you and your children that maybe you're going to memorize a new surah this month. We're going to sit down together as a family and memorize a new surah. When we break fast at iftar, after we finish breaking fast, when Abu comes home from the Taraweeh prayer, we're going to spend at least an hour as a family learning a new surah of the Quran, and make it a small surah, a short surah. And we'll learn it together because there's so many rewards for learning the Quran, but you're not going to just memorize it. You want to also review the tafsir, ponder the meaning of the Quran as well. We're going to take 2 verses today. We're going to memorize how to pronounce them in Arabic. And we're going to also review the meaning of it in English. Do at least 2 verses a day. And you can do this together when you break iftar after the Taraweeh prayer. Or you can do it in the morning after Fajr. Okay? And also, I cannot stress enough the importance of you brothers going to the masjid to perform the Taraweeh prayers. Now, let me share with you guys an email I got yesterday. Someone sent me an email yesterday. There's a lot of videos all over the internet on social media and Instagram, TikTok, hip hop, whatever. People call themselves scholars talking about Ramadan and all this. And somebody asked me a question yesterday on Facebook. How does a woman perform Taraweeh? First of all, this is ignorance. Taraweeh is an Arabic word that refers to the night prayer. The night consists of 3 parts. The early part of the night is Taraweeh. The middle of the night is Qiyam. The last part of the night is Tahajjud. And I taught you guys that. Don't get lost up in stupid people's Arabic words that they don't understand the meaning of. Me and Dramali gave a forum on that last Sunday. How people speak Arabic and don't understand the meaning of it. Taraweeh refers to the night prayer. It's performing the night prayer in the middle of the night. So how does a woman pray Taraweeh? She prayed Taraweeh the same way she's been praying it all her life. Get up and pray it after Isha, as many rakats as you want to. Hello, goodbye in your eye. That's all it is. We got to stop making the religion hard. And we got to be careful who we take our knowledge of, because you see some handsome man on YouTube with a long beard, and because he can recite the Khutbah al-Hajj doesn't mean he's no scholar. because he's got 1 million followers. And because he has an accent, he gonna tell you that there's a certain way a woman prays Tarawih. A woman prays, the prophet Aisha, the prophet's wife said, we women pray the same as the men do. There's no difference. For you brothers out there, you should go to the masjid to pray the Tarawih prayer behind the imam, because there's more blessings for you in doing so. But because of the COVID, they're requiring that the masjids limit the amount of people who attend. And since a woman doesn't have to go to the mosque, because a woman gets more blessings praying at home in her house, all she has to do is stay home and make her Tarawih in her house. And the Tarawih prayer can be prayed anytime after Isha until before Fajr. That's the night prayer. The night prayer can be performed anytime after Isha until Fajr. If you pray it early, it's called Tarawih. If you pray it in the middle of the night, it's called Qiyam al-Layl. If you pray it right before Fajr, it's called Tahajjud. See how easy it is. So you brothers, go to the mosque, pray it with the imam. You sisters, you can pray your Tarawih at home with your children. And by the way, it can be as many rakats as you want. But however many rakats you pray, the prophet said, whenever you end the night prayer, end it with 1 rakat to make it an odd number. So what does that mean? Say, for example, say, for example, Amina Antar. Amina Antar is in a hospital right now, logged in listening to us. She's unable to fast, but she's making her prayers. Say, for example, Amina Antar wants to do a Tarawih prayer or a night prayer. All she has to do is just 1 rakat. That's it. Hello, she's done. Maybe she's too tired, too sick to pray any more rakat. So she makes her Isha prayer. Then when she's done with Isha, before she lays down, she'll say, okay, I want to do a 1 rakat, Tarawih. And that's all she has to do. Guess what? She got the reward of the Tarawih prayer. Tarawih is night prayer. That's it. Hello. She got that reward. It's a voluntary prayer. Does everybody understand that? So you brothers, you go to the masjid and perform Tarawih. You women, you can stay at home and make your night prayer. I was speaking to Brother Abdul Muhaymin, who is one of our students here, and also he's a cousin of mine from my father's side, the tribe of Saba. Me and him are related from my father's side, Ancestry.com DNA testing. Okay, Brother Abdul Muhaymin lives in Saudi Arabia. He's Arabic in Saudi Arabia. And we were talking yesterday and I asked him, I said, so how's it going on? How do you guys deal with the Tarawih prayer there? He said, the brothers go to the mosque to pray the Tarawih. And I asked him, are there any sisters there? He said, no, the women stay at home because of the COVID. They're not allowing the women to do that. Plus he said, Sister Layla, women get more blessings at home anyway. So a woman wouldn't even think to go to the mosque to do Tarawih there because she knows she's getting more blessings at home anyway. Okay, so the same here. You sisters get more blessings at home anyway. So if you want to do Tarawih after the Isha prayer, you can do it with your children. If you have a son who knows how to lead you in prayer, who knows the Fatiha, no matter how old he is, he can lead you all in Tarawih at home. Okay, or you can lead your daughters in Tarawih at home. I hope I'm clear on that because we got all these videos on YouTube about Ramadan and I'm telling you, they're making the religion so hard. Tarawih is not the night prayer. It's just speaking about praying during the beginning of the night. Okay, and I hope that's clear with everyone. Okay, all right. And for you brothers, it is highly, highly, highly recommended that you attend the Tarawih prayer every night until the Quran is finished. Okay? And also for you brothers, it is very, very good idea for you brothers to participate in the duas that follow the Taraweeh prayer. And also, this is what I was speaking about, another box. You want to, excuse me, here that GERD comes. Let's hope I don't have to break it. You want to also put in your home a second box. This box is called the swearing and backbiting box. So you're going to have two boxes in your house. The first box is the Ramadan box that you put any spare change in. This box is for whenever you say something with your tongue that you shouldn't say. For example, if the children get into an argument, if you argue with your siblings, you have to take $1 and put it in that box. Whenever you find yourself backbiting someone, put $1 in that box. Whenever you find yourself cursing, say, for example, you use profanity, put $1 in that box. Not only will this help you to become conscious of your tongue, but also it will help you to realize I need to change myself. This is something I need to, Lord, I got $10 in here in one day. I got to clean my mouth up. Remember, Ramadan is all about change, renewing your commitment with Allah and yourself. The swear box, the backbiting box will help with that. So anytime you catch yourself using profanity, anytime you catch yourself backbiting, anytime you catch yourself arguing with someone, put $1 bill in that box. And then at the end of the month, you turn it into the local masjid too. So that way the imam can take the money and go out and buy food for the needy Muslims in your community. And this is all a good way of giving charity. So you're purifying your soul. You're purifying your sins with these two boxes. So, and you should keep these boxes all year round, to be honest. Also, another thing we can do during our fasting days, you don't want to just spend the day reading the Quran or logged in to Sunnah followers. Take a break to call and check on your relatives. We have emails, we have FaceTime, we have WhatsApp. Get in touch with your loved ones, check on them, ask them, are they okay? Do they need anything? Even your non-Muslim relatives, get in touch with them, you know, and tell them I'm just calling to check on you to see how everything's going. If you need anything of me, keep in touch with your Muslim relatives too, and your friends. So again, this is the best time of the year to strengthen the ties with our family members. And all you have to do is send a card or an email or just call them up and FaceTime them. Subhanallah. What a good thing. Because of the COVID, we can't get out and visit, but you can go on FaceTime or WhatsApp and call your grandmother and sit there and look at her face and talk to her. You know, we can do to the COVID, you know, we can't travel overseas, but you can pick up that phone and call and talk or send an email and talk to your relatives overseas. So this is another good way to spend our time. Everything in balance. I want to spend part of my day remembering Allah through reading the Quran. I want to spend another part of my day while I'm fasting, learning my deen here on Sunnah Followers. And then after I break my fast at night, this is the time I'm going to catch up on my relatives. When I break my fast at night, I'm going to call and check on my mother. I'm going to call and check on my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, my uncles. I'm going to send a couple of emails to people. I'm going to do a Ramadan card to a few people. And then after that, you know, I'm going to do my little night prayer. So see how we can keep ourselves busy, you know, in a good way and earning all types of rewards during this month. And again, I want you guys to be careful of the internet. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using the internet in a positive way. My Zoom room is open 24 hours a day. You guys can join here from all over the world. We are here. I'm here all day, you know, to answer any questions you may have about Islam. Sister Amina Fresno is here, you know, to help you with any problems you may have. Sister Anissa is here. You know, we got Sister Sabrine here, Sister Gracie, Sister Isra, Sister Mayleon, Norto, and the twins. We got Fiza. You know, we have Muslims logged here all day, you know, to try to be here to support you, to give you the advice you need to get through life, to get through the day. So the internet used in that fashion is good, but there's a lot of people that use the internet in a bad fashion by sitting on Facebook after they break their fast, chit-chatting with men who are not mahrams to them. If you got a problem with talking to men or women who are not mahrams to you, you need to close down your Facebook account. Close down all that social media. Get off of Instagram. Get off of TikTok, Tick, or whatever. Twitter somewhere else. So go on a technology diet if you're a person that's using technology in a bad way. But if you're using it in a good way, technology can be good, like my Zoom room. We're here 24/7. If we weren't here, Sister Amina Antar would not have went to the hospital to get and could have died. That's how great this Zoom room is, because we're here to support each other. But for those of you who are using technology in a bad way, go on a diet. Get rid of it for this month. And again, even if it's just 5 minutes of Quran, like Brother Isa was saying, you don't have to read the Quran for your fast to be accepted. But if you want to just spend 5 minutes after the Fajr prayer, you wake up for Fajr, and you want to sit down and just read 2 ayats and ponder the meaning of it. Go over the interpretation, the meaning of it. Look at the tafsir and see what those verses mean. Just 5 minutes a day. This will help to pick up your iman. And not only that, but it will strengthen and connect you to Allah. And finally, another good way to spend our fasting time is by seeking forgiveness from the people that you have hurt, or accepting forgiveness from those who have hurt you, as long as the hurt wasn't something like rape or murder. You know, there's a limit, okay? But we want to try to let go of unnecessary anger. We want to let go of unnecessary pain during this month and forgive people who didn't hurt us in a bad way. You know, I'm not going to sit here and hold a grudge at her because she bought a car like mine. I know one sister had a grudge against another sister because she get them children off of my PowerPoint, because this person bought a car like hers. Because somebody bought a car like hers, she had an attitude. You know, get rid of that silly anger and be forgiving. If you want Allah to forgive you, then you need to learn to forgive others, guys. So thus, and so whoever's kid put that on my screen, please remove it. You guys are gonna have to control your children when we're teaching. It happened during Brother Isa's class yesterday. If you guys cannot control your children when we are teaching, and they're writing on that whiteboard, because it's very distracting and it makes me angry because it messes up my PowerPoint. And y'all know I have a problem with perfection. That's my jihad. If y'all can't control your children, I will make it so nobody can type, talk, or anything. And y'all don't want it to be like that. So please, parents, keep an eye on your kids during the lectures. When we ain't got a lecture going on, they can do, I don't care what they do. But when there's a class, control your children. Okay. All right. So anyway, we're going to stop right here for today. And I want you guys to keep all these things in mind. You know, Ramadan, this is the second day, and your fast should be a little bit more easier for you. Keep these ideas in mind. If you keep these ideas in mind and put them into action, you will make the most of your fasting time. You know, you're going to wake up, make Fajr, and then read a couple of verses of the Quran with your family. Then after that, you're going to log in to Sunnah followers and participate in the classes here. Then after that, you're going to get up and do your iftar and do Taraweeh with your family. And then you'll go over a couple of other verses of the Quran together, and then you go to bed. Look how simple that was. You kept yourself busy. remembering Allah, making the most of your fasting time. Okay, so we'll stop right here for today. Let me remind everyone that we have other classes. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.